So as a very last touch to this image, let's apply a little bit of sharpening. As you remember, in order to do this, we need to create a stamp layer. So let's select the top layer in our layers stack, and let's use the keyboard shortcut Alt-Shift-Command-E. That way I have created this stamp. I haven't flattened the image, I still have all those layers. However, I can sharpen photograph with this layer, and all I need to do now is to change the blend mode of this layer to overlay and move over to the Photoshop menu bar, select filter and other high pass. That way I can apply sharpening, and I guess the value 1.8 is going to work well with this image. I don't want to go further. As you remember, we already had issues with the halo in the image. I have mentioned that while working with high definition images, it's a very common problem, and I can see it appearing again a little bit here, so I don't want to go too far and sharpen it to make it stronger. So 1.5 is fine. I'm going to apply, and I'm going to mask this effect. I would like to have it visible only a little bit in the sky area, but mostly in the sand, in the dress and the branch. So let's add mask to this layer. I'm going to press and hold Alt key, and when the Alt key is pressed, I'm just clicking on this icon representing mask. That way I have added mask to this layer. And now with painting with a brush and white color, I'm going to make this sharpening visible. So I can get back to my tools. The brush is selected. I need to swap these colors and change opacity maybe to 80. I can get rid of those panels again and just start painting over this branch, only over these areas that I would like to sharpen a bit to create a little bit more of distinction in the image. It's going to be most effective over her dress, as I want these folds to be really strong. All these leading lines in our composition meet where is her figure, so it's a very important element in the image. So let's sharpen a bit further the branch, and let's go over the sand. However, I want to decrease opacity. 80 will be too much. Let's go for 40. I just pressed 4 on my keyboard, and let's just strengthen it a little bit. Okay. So that way our edit is almost finished. As you remember now, we can still get back to the color. So let's just reveal the layers panel. I'm hitting function and F7. So if I switch off the black and white adjustment layer, we would have all these adjustments applied to the full color image. However, I'm not happy at all with this result. All I need to do is to just decrease the opacity of this layer, so the image is not entirely black and white, but I have this very subtle hints of color. This is the result I wanted to achieve. I want to have this kind of silverish tone. Since the sky is pretty cold, the tone of this yellow brownish sand are cold as well. The same goes for the sea, for her skin tones, for the branch. So this way I just love how these shades are balanced. It's a very personal thing. If you would like, you can keep this image as black and white. If you would like, you can add a little bit more color to it. However, I like having it desaturated. I like how these tones are working together, and with the enhanced contrast and after those light and shadows adjustments, we have very strong composition, very effective image. Let's now have a last glance at the original version. So I'm going to quickly put all those layers in a group in one folder. So I have selected all of them with Shift. I have left only the background layer outside, and I'm hitting Command G. That way I have placed all these layers in a folder, and I can toggle them on and off only with one click. So this was the original image that we started with, and this is the final result after applying all our adjustment layers, and this is our final edit. So I hope you are getting more and more familiar with these keyboard shortcuts, with these tools, and as I have promised you before, it's only by practice, by working with these tools, by working with these techniques, by applying those adjustments, by repetition. As with anything else, you can master these techniques. They are not difficult. It's not about inventing new techniques when working with new images. Of course, you can be creative, you can try to solve particular issues, as in this particular example we had to remove the halo. However, it's nothing close to reinventing the wheel. All you need to do is to practice, to make these techniques your second nature, and then when you will be very comfortable with them, you will be applying them very, very intuitively. And the more you work, the more you repeat them, it will be more and more pleasant, because then having particular image, you will know exactly almost 80% of the techniques. You will intuitively know which techniques, which adjustments are going to be beneficial for certain image, and that way the work is much more pleasant, because you are not wasting time by figuring out, by searching and trying to guess. You are not walking in a mist. You have already knowledge that can be applied, and your workflow is much faster and you are much more effective. Okay, so we have finished this edit. Let's move over to the next section, and we are going to be working with entirely different image. This one was lit with natural light, very, very spacious, very bright. The next photograph we are going to be working, it's going to be a portrait, however, very, very dark, low-key image. So let's jump ahead and move towards the next lecture.